All right, let's jump right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to decode one of the absolute most fascinating micro corners of the internet. We are taking a really close look at a YouTube channel called Hidden Psychology. Now, this channel might only have around 40 videos in its entire library, mostly shorts, but man, the content it packs into those bite-sized clips is incredibly potent. From decoding the silent hidden language of attraction, all the way to unraveling the slightly terrifying world of dark psychology, this creator has basically built a masterclass in dissecting human behavior. So today, we're going to unpack exactly what makes this content so gripping, using a carefully structured look at the psychological secrets they've laid out for us. If you really want to understand the heartbeat of this channel, you just have to look at their official mission statement. What you see on the surface is only half the truth. And honestly, this is the foundational premise of our entire explainer today. Think about it. We go through our daily lives, interacting, talking, making choices, and we generally think we're in total control, right? But this creator argues that there's actually a vast, hidden network of patterns, subconscious secrets, and invisible strings governing our behavior. So we aren't just going to look at what people do. We're going to explore the hidden why behind it all. To make sense of these 40 videos, we've categorized them into 5 specific psychological pillars. So here is our roadmap for today. Number 1, the iceberg hypothesis. 2, the science of attraction. 3, dark psychology and influence. 4, relatable realities. And 5, your lying brain. Okay, let's get into section 1, the iceberg hypothesis, where we decode the channel itself. To truly grasp this creator's worldview, we need to zoom out for a second and look at their overall content spread. Attraction and dating dominates the space at 35%, which makes total sense, right? Human connection is just a universal drive. But right next to it, a massive 30% chunk is dedicated entirely to dark psychology and influence. We're talking about the manipulative, secretive sides of the human mind. The rest of the content is split between daily delusions at 20% and deep life truths at 15%. So what this proves is that while we all absolutely want to learn how to find love, we are equally obsessed with learning how to wield power and, well, protect ourselves from manipulation. Moving right along to section 2, the science of attraction. Is it love or is it just biology? Now, this channel has a laser-like focus on romantic dynamics, but they approach it a bit differently than you might expect. On one side, we have the conscious mind. This is where we live most of the time, right? We're overthinking, desperately waiting for a sign that someone likes us, or seeking that mythical concept of closure, which, by the way, they explicitly call a lie you need to hear. Then on the flip side, we have subconscious biology. The channel strongly argues that biology actually runs the show. They even have a fascinating video titled exactly this: Your body chooses your partner before your brain does. They also heavily feature concepts like the halo effect, where our brain basically automatically trusts attractive people. It's not magic, it's evolutionary biology operating completely under the radar. So how do we actually spot these biological cues? Well, the channel emphasizes physical, involuntary tells over spoken words, like what their feet really say. Just think about that for a second. You might be listening to someone's words, but their feet are pointing toward the door or maybe pointing directly at you. That's your subconscious leaking out. They also break this down by gender, highlighting things like 4 subconscious signs she is falling for you and 3 signs he can't stop thinking about you. And crucially, it's not just about building attraction. It's about preserving it, outlining the specific, invisible habits that kill your attraction. The whole premise is about reading the unsaid. Which brings us to section 3, dark psychology and influence. Now, where there is light, there is shadow. The channel often starts its descent into the murkier waters of manipulation with a really simple question. Are you being gaslighted? And wow, this is an incredibly powerful hook. The creator uses this to draw the viewer right in, tapping into our deep-seated, very real fear of being manipulated. They aren't just teaching psychology as some fun party trick, they are teaching defensive psychology. They want you to learn the rules of the game so you literally don't get played. So the crucial point here is that the creator frames these psychological tools in 2 very distinct ways, as a shield and as a sword. On the defensive side, they offer tools like the FBI trick to spot a liar in seconds, how to catch a liar instantly, and identifying the 3 signs you are being gaslighted. But then, they completely flip the script. They offer you the tactical advantage. We're talking videos on how to get anyone to say yes, or explaining the dark psychology of scarcity, which is literally titled, Why Ignoring Them Makes Them Obsessed. It's pretty fascinating how quickly the content shifts from protecting your own mind to actively influencing someone else's. And they wrap all of this up in the allure of exclusive hidden knowledge. 99%. This statistic is pulled straight from their video, 3 Dark Psychology Secrets 99% of Men Don't Know. By branding this information as something the vast majority of people are completely blind to, the channel makes you feel like you're part of an elite inner circle. You aren't just consuming content anymore. It feels like you're getting access to the absolute cheat codes of human interaction. All right, shifting gears to Section 4, Relatable Realities and Everyday Delusions. Because let's be honest, things can't be dark and heavy all the time. The creator has a really great grasp of modern internet culture and humor, asking questions like, is it a sign or are you just delusional? Complete with the skull emoji. We've all been there, right? Over-analyzing a text message, trying to find some hidden meaning where there probably isn't one. The channel playfully calls out their audience's dating delusions, essentially saying, hey, we know you do this, and yes, it's a little ridiculous. It does a fantastic job of keeping the psychology grounded and highly entertaining. And this creates what's essentially a brilliant delusion cycle. The channel taps directly into the everyday self-deceptions we literally all practice. Step 1. Rationalizing spending through girl math, laughing about how our bank accounts are crying while we justify buying a wildly expensive coffee just because we had a hard morning. Step 2. How to look busy at work. Let's face it, we all put on performances for our bosses. Step 3. How to win the breakup, or just be delusional. The creator perfectly captures how we lie to ourselves just to protect our own egos. We are constantly spinning these little narratives just to survive the day. But then, right in the middle of the humor and the relatable dating tips, they drop something incredibly profound. One day, the phone calls will stop. This quote is from their video on the hardest truth about growing up. It's such a sobering contrast to the playful content, and it really highlights the creator's incredible range. They can seamlessly transition from quick pop psychology to deep existential realities about aging, isolation, and just how fleeting our relationships actually are. And finally, that brings us to Section 5, Your Lying Brain, the ultimate manipulator. Throughout this explainer, we've looked at how we read others, how we influence them, and how we protect ourselves from toxic people. But this right here is one of the most powerful core concepts from the entire channel, how comfort becomes your prison. It's a pretty stark realization. We spend so much of our time looking outward for threats, learning FBI tricks to spot liars and reading up on gaslighting, but the ultimate manipulator is often just our own desire to stay in comfortable, stagnant situations. Without even realizing it, we build our own cages out of routine and a fear of the unknown. So I want to leave you with a provocative question drawn directly from their video on the truth about procrastination. Is your brain lying to you right now? Really think about it. Think about the things you're putting off, the truths you might be ignoring about your relationships, or the comfortable prisons you've built for yourself. Hidden Psychology reminds us that the most complex, manipulative, and fascinating mind you will ever encounter isn't a stranger's, it's your own. Kind of makes you eager to keep decoding, doesn't it? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I highly encourage you to keep questioning the surface level of absolutely everything you see.